And at that moment, the Korean government asked the Japanese government that we were going to pay, we are going to split that compensation between us, Korea, and North Korea. So that Lee Soo-man asked Japanese government the compensation for both two nations. So we paid 800 million US dollars. So that and what I would like to say is that the negotiation of that treaties was last more than 17 years. So that during these 17 years of the negotiation between Korea, South Korea, and Japan, Lee Soo-man never mentioned about the compensation for the comfort room. Never, ever. And before that year, the word, the comfort room itself also did not exist. Why? If Japanese soldier captures about 200,000 the Chosen's woman or the comfort woman, he should mention that there during the agreement of the treaty. But he did not mention about that. And also, if we think about the population of the North Korea, Chosen at that moment, that was about 20 million, just 20 million. And Korea insists was 200,000. That means one of the 100 people of the Chosen people.
No, 1,000, but
yeah. 200 population is
20 million?
20 million.
Oh, okay.
And,
You're right. 20
what
was
they
2 million.
insisted how many the woman
One
was
in 100.
captured, right? One in 100. Yes. So if 1 in 100, that means that almost all the young people of the Chosen was captured.
Wow.
But such kind of
1 in 100 is not all young people.
never ever happened. And there are so many
So it could it be an exaggeration, or it didn't happen at all?
And but I have to mention here is there is the kind of the business to sell their the sexes to the soldiers. But this is not a rare case, only for the Japan, but every other military force, including Western countries, have.
I don't think that's a topic of discussion.
That was the business.
Yeah.
And also, in the case of such kind of people in between Japan and Korea, there are such kind of business women exist. That was true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And,
yeah. Do you agree?
So that if they, so
Are
if
you enjoying yourself on the side?
So if you agree with the opinion of Korea that Japanese soldier or Japanese government captured about the 200,000 Chosen women, then at the same time, so you have to explain why the Lee Soo-man did not mention about that during the 17 years of the negotiations. So if the comfort woman exists and that issue was so much big, like the current situation where we exist, why Lee Soo-man asked the Japanese government about the compensation for that? Why?
Well, I think that's basically what you're saying is okay. Well, it has to be either true or false, not black and white, right? The world is gray, so it's very likely that people who are advocating this comfort woman story, they may actually have a benefit of exaggerating the numbers. That's very often true. Basically, it's just like negotiation. You ask a high price, and you aim for the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. So, but that doesn't make it not true. I believe that's more likely to be gray. I also think it's very likely that, and also giving what Uno-san is saying before about families having to sell their daughters, etc. But it's a different time. It's a different moral standard. So undoubtedly, there were many women who were professional prostitutes. But I think there is, but probably, like just thinking about the times there, people may have been poor. People may have actually been brought there by Korean human traffickers who offered those women against their will, against their knowing. I think the point is more, okay, could this have happened? And also, how was it organized? Were women were they free to go when they were enrolled? So who brought them there is one question. How they were treated after they were actually there, and whether they were free to go, that's another question. How many it were, I think that's very difficult to establish. The question is more, did women were they held against their will, and was there a lot of human suffering? I think that is the issue at the table here. The numbers, probably very difficult to understand. I don't think that the Japanese army would have changed. I think that's unlikely. That the Japanese army would have actively tried to capture women and put them under control. What is very likely is that they, at least I think is likely, is that they established these comfort zones, but that the conditions under which these women were forced to work or coerced to work were not something that a lot of women would feel comfortable with, and therefore there was suffering. I think that's the point here. The real point is whether there was suffering. To say it didn't exist or it's 100% lie, that doesn't help the fact that there was real human suffering here.
But the question you talk about right now is a very general question, not only for the the women who sell their sexes to the soldiers.
Right.
Not only the case of Japan, but also all other countries who had post.
Right, but that doesn't mean that it's right. If other countries do it, definitely, I know that in after Japan left and when the Americans stayed in Korea, there were also a lot of things that were going wrong. Yeah. It's not exclusive something that's related to, but the issue here is what we're discussing. What the discussion here is what happened in regards to comfort women. In Korea in relation to the Japanese army.
And so in these specific issues, what is the specific problems which the European people or the Korean people especially care about, and we have to discuss? What is the difference?
I think the real issue is that basically it's war. In most war, normal people, women, they suffer. There is rape. You
did not understand about the comfort woman issue between Korea and Japan. Only the difference between other such kind of the system during the war was whether the Japanese military force or government ordered to capture the woman or not. That was only the point.
Right.
The difference and also the discussion point.
Right.
And as a result of that, there was no record, there was no evidence.
But I mean that's not the point, right? And you can say okay, that's the point. That's not the point. We're talking about humans here. We're talking about suffering here and about acknowledging that, and not about we were right, we were wrong. It's not black and white. It's about suffering. To put yourselves in the mind of the women that suffered.
Okay.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日はブーキューブさんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアーツということ、それからもう一つは孫子の平和、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって、皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師が話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。で、以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後、こういうふうな研修をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。で、ここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね、集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね、50セッションのテーマに分けて資料作成をしております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対しても、いろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね、議論をしております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、V キューブさんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。